The election of 1912 was one of the most important elections of the 20th century. It also was quite entertaining as we had heated rivalries and even an assassination attempt. Let's go over some of their policies. So first up we have Theodore Roosevelt, pretty cool guy. He's already ran for president before. Some of his policies are strong federal government. He believed the nation should actively regulate the economy to protect the public good. And he wanted to regulate corporations. He supported strict oversight of big business to prevent monopolies and abuses of power. And some labor protections he had was backed minimum wage laws, workers' compensation, and limit on working hours, especially for women and children. So he's a feminist, some would say. Social justice reforms wanted government action to reduce economic inequality and improving living conditions. Because he's cool and big and crap. For the next contender of the election of 1912, we have William Howard Taft, the man who got stuck in the bathtub. Some of his policies were supported reform. He believed the change should be gradual, though, and follow the law strictly. And then trust busting. He filed more antitrust cases than Roosevelt. And then he wanted to limit power. He believed the president shouldn't stretch powers like Roosevelt did, you know. And then he had a tariff policy, you know. He kept tariffs relatively high. This upset a couple people, though, who wanted tariffs lower. You know, the man stuck in the bath. Cool dude. Pretty heavy. And finally, our last contender, Woodrow Wilson. Some of his policies included small government approach, wanted to limit the power of big government and big business, restore competition. He believed monopolies should be broken up so small businesses can thrive. He wanted to lower tariffs, supported reducing tariffs to encourage trade and lower prices. He also protected workers, supported laws for safer working conditions and limits on child labor. Key laws promoted the Clayton Antitrust Act to strengthen earlier antitrust regulations. He has aura. Some fun facts about the people running for president is, we'll start with Theodore first. Theodore was shot and he proceeded to keep giving a speech, which is pretty cool. Roosevelt, he was a prolific writer though. Like, he wrote 35 books. Quite an intelligent guy. He was blind in one eye due to a boxing injury sustained in the White House, but he kept it on the DL. His family kept a menagerie of pets, including a badger. That's pretty cool. And a snake, too. And our second candidate, William Howard Taft, the behemoth, some call him. He was 6 foot and weighed 335 pounds, or 350 at his peak, at his prime. And they look at him in the picture. That's a big man. Pretty chill. He was also a heavyweight wrestling champion at Yale, probably because of how big he was. And this is his new bathtub after getting stuck in the old one. That's a pretty big bathtub for a pretty big man. You know, he's pretty cool. Just a little big, some would say. And lastly, we have Woodrow Wilson. He is the only U.S. president buried in Washington, D.C. And before running for 1912, he was a president of Princeton, then the governor of New Jersey. You know, he's a pretty cool dude. Pretty tall, some would say.
ごちゃごちゃうるせえ言葉じゃねえだろ領域展開
In the end, Woodrow Wilson won the presidential election mainly because the Republican vote was split between the incumbent President William Howard Taft and former President Theodore Roosevelt, who ran third party candidate under the Progressive Bull Moose Party. Pretty sad way of it ending. Yeah, I don't include this part. Let's take a look into Woodrow Wilson's presidency, just to wrap things up. He was the 28th president of the United States. He did it from 1913 to 1921. He was the first Democratic victory in over 2 decades. His presidency is defined by a progressive domestic agenda known as the New Freedom and a transformative foreign policy centered on internationalism during World War I. His first term focused more on domestic reforms and progressive legislation, and it was unprecedented. We're going to cut that part out, including the Federal Reserve Act. Cut that part out too. By unprecedented progressive legislation. During his second term, World War I happened, and he focused his attention on that, leading the U.S. into conflict in April 1917 after Germany refused unrestricted submarine warfare. His legacy, in my opinion, he was a alright president. I mean, he did alright. That's all I can really say. He's cool. I don't know. That's Woodrow Wilson. That was the election of 1912 in its entirety. You should have learned something, hopefully. And I'm totally not trying to stretch this to 7 minutes or anything. I put some effort into this, so if I could get 100, it'd be pretty nice. And I like it. Pretty cool topic. Theodore Roosevelt has aura. William Howard Taft, pretty big guy. And Woodrow Wilson, I don't care for him. He's kind of lame. He's boring.